Once you realize in life that everything you give people has to be earned, you stop being trapped into these relationships with people who don't deserve things. It's a trap to be in love with someone who doesn't love you back, who takes advantage of that. It's a trap to be dedicated to someone who's only dedicated to themselves and will step on anyone to get to where they want to be. It's a trap to be loyal to someone who has a knife in one hand and they ready to put it right in your spine at any time the wrong thought crosses their mind. All of these things are traps. So when you're too trusting, you allow people the benefit of the doubt before they even prove themselves worthy of it. It doesn't make sense. Trust can put you in a grave or a cave, man. And a lot of time you trusting people for no possible benefit. Now, if you were a slave and you were fleeing and you were going to Underground Railroad, yeah, you had to trust Harriet Tubman and all of those other people who knew the way, who were leading you there. You had to trust that you could stay in these areas and that you could lay low in these areas until you got up north to the safe ground. You had to trust that. But look what was on the end of that. By that point, you were at the point where you were living and what you were dealing with was not worth it anymore. You were willing to risk your life. Now ask yourself, are you willing to risk your life to trust the people you know? Because it can cost you your life. It can cost you your lifestyle. It can cost you your freedom. Are you willing to risk that? Is what you have to ask yourself. And I'm going to be honest with you. I, for one, am not. So when you say, okay, well tell me this, King Ray Ray, if I can't be friendly, I can't be forgiving, I can't be friendly, I can't be trusting, then how do you develop a relationship with people? You don't. Relationships develop organically. You just look up and it's been 20 years. Remember one of my partners was just talking about that the other day. He was like, man, bro, it's been 20 years. We regularly just thank each other for being real. You understand me? We just thank each other for being real, bro. For not ever having no fugaziness, for not ever having no foolishness, for not ever having no reason to doubt one another's authenticity. Man, we just thank each other for being real sometimes. Because you look up and it's been 20 years. It just happened. If you got to force it, it's not going to fit. When the last time you had to force your sock on your foot? If you got to force your sock on your foot, you better go to the doctor, man. You got gout or diabetes or something. When the last time you had to force your money in your bank account? If you got so much money in your bank account, you got to force your money and you saving too much. Go invest some. We spend our time being too friendly, getting burnt. Being too trusting, getting burnt. And then we're too forgiving. After the people burn you, you forgive them and let them back. After the people take your friendliness for granted and take advantage of that in a negative way, you forgive them, invite them back. Come on, bro. You know what forgiveness is? Forgiveness is you saying, okay, I'm going to give you a pass this time, not next time. That's what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is not allowing someone to offend you over and over and over again. That's foolishness. That's why at a certain point, God punishes us. Those of us who know better, we get punished quicker, right? If I was to eat a piece of pork right now, bro, I ain't no telling what would happen. I ain't no telling what kind of symptoms I have. I might stroke out because I just know better. For me to willingly eat some pork or willingly eat something from the sea that don't have fins and scales, for me to willingly give up the freedom I have right now and say, you know what? I'm just going to go do something that requires me to work on the Sabbath. For me to willingly do that, my punishment is going to be swift and it's going to be harsh. Why? Because I know better. I know better. And so I want y'all to understand that we have to live our lives in a way that proves to us that we love ourselves. And you can't keep forgiving people for doing wrong. Because here's the thing. When somebody does wrong once and they didn't know any better, you forgive them. When somebody does wrong the second time to you, they knew what they were doing and they just think you're a sucker enough to forgive them and let them do it again. And let me tell you something. If someone does something to you twice, I can promise you they'll do it to you thrice if you let them stay in your life. Nobody's ever done something to somebody 2 times and stayed in their life and never did it again. Ever. Ever. If you're in a relationship, you get cheated on, guess what? You let the person cheat on you the second time is never going to be the last time. If you let it happen twice and they stay around, going to happen at least 5 times, never 2 times. I want you to understand something. You owe it to yourself to protect yourself. You owe it to yourself to accept the fact when people don't mean you any good. You could do bad by yourself. You could do bad to yourself. You could do bad for yourself. So you protect yourself from somebody else doing bad for you, to you. It doesn't make sense to allow people to just do whatever they want to do to you, man. It just don't make sense. Don't make sense. So you got to understand this. The majority of people can only show fake love because they've never developed self-love. I can love people. I'm not going to fall in love with nobody, but I can love people because I love me. If you're worthy of my love, I'm going to love on you like I love on me. I love me. Certain things I'm not going to do to me, so certain things I'm not going to do to you. But those people, they don't know what that is. Their mama didn't love them. Their daddy didn't love them. Their grandparents didn't love them. Their siblings didn't love them. They just all tolerated each other because they were a family. The majority of these people, they don't even know how to love themselves because nobody ever loved them. So all they can do is hate you. Of course, they know how to get along because in the family environment, they learned how to get along. They learned how not to cross lines. They learned how not to do many things. Can you imagine growing up in a household where your older siblings beat on you? They beat you up. And we think that's normal because everybody you meet, they've gone through the same thing. The older siblings did things to them. Think about these people growing up in these environments where somebody that was older than them touched them inappropriately. The majority of people you meet have gone through that, especially from a certain environment. We're really from a certain environment. And so you ask yourself, why trust someone who's never trusted anyone, who's always been burnt by the people they trusted? You can't trust them because they don't trust you. Why be loyal to someone who's never learned about loyalty? Everybody they ever been loyal to burned them. Their best friend end up sleeping with her husband. Their cousin end up stealing money from them. Their sister end up snitching on them. They end up going to jail. Their brother set them up to get robbed. Like, why are we thinking that you can love, be loyal to, respect, and trust, forgive people who have never experienced these things either being done to them or either being done by them? You learn to understand that very few people even know how to be friends. Very few people even know how to love. Very few people even know how to be loyal. Very few people even know how to be trusting and trustworthy. Very few people even know how to find peace. Very few people know. And that's the main thing. You're trying to befriend people who are living in turmoil. You have peace. How can you invite people who have turmoil into your peace? You can't. You must let them keep their tumultuous lives over there, far away from your peace. That is why we're all here congregated right now. We come here because there's peace here. In this 45 minutes or hour we're going to be here, we know that there's peace. That's why I always make these chats close. Why? Because everybody in this chat, we pay for this peace. This isn't about, man, how much this thing cost? Like $3, $4? We ain't talking about no money. I appreciate y'all, but let's be honest. It, if we talking about $4, man, it take 10,000 of y'all. You know what I mean? It'll take half of the amount of subscribers I got to be members. But I want y'all to understand, we are in here for peace. I know this is an environment of peace, and I appreciate everybody who understands that and is willing to be in here. I appreciate everybody who can't really be in here but wish they could. I appreciate everybody that's listening because you can get remnants of the peace. You just can't come in here and communicate with us in this peaceful environment so we can exchange peace. People can exchange hate. People can exchange trauma. People can exchange pain. And those are the things that most people exchange. Very few people have peace to exchange, but we got peace. So we're exchanging peace in here. I've been missing this piece. Why y'all think I've been coming in here regularly like I have? If I don't come in here live, I'm going to drop some content. Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, we're going to be in here. Right now, we're going to be in here. Midday Motivation with King Ray, where we're going to be right here. This where we going to be. Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at noon. Central Standard Time. We're gonna be right here. Rest of the days we may pop in, but them days we gonna be here. Why? Because we need to be able to count on this peaceful gathering of like-minded, spiritually astute individuals who are striving to seek the face of the Most High and live a life that's pleasing to God. If you don't want to do that, fine. We don't care. We're in here because that's what we do. We're helpers of one another. You understand? We break spiritual bread in here. And that's what we need. That's what we need. Because here's the thing you got to understand. You got to be careful with these people because they'll hate you and still try to act like they love you because no one can turn down a come up. No one hates someone so much. You got to be watching a movie for someone to hate someone so much that they won't use that person for a come up. Opportunity to come to make some money, they won't act like they like that person. If you from the hood, you've seen enemies come together to make money. Because when it boils down to it, people want to have a different life. They want to upgrade their lives. And if you're the path to that upgrade, man, they will hate your guts and laugh in your face. They'll laugh at your jokes, even the ones you know ain't funny. And you got to be aware of people that can't be authentic. People who aren't authentic around you, bruh, they can't be trusted. They're trying to manipulate you. Think about somebody who won't be themselves around you. What greater manipulative tactic is there than to act like I'm someone I'm not? Than to act like I'm what you like, even though that's not my authentic self. But that's what people do because they can't turn down a come up. If there's any possible way that they can use you to benefit themselves, they will not turn that opportunity down because they can't. It's not in them to turn that opportunity down. It's not in any of us to turn that opportunity down. That's why I just stay away from people I don't like.